Mikel Arteta's sacking prediction has been made by one of the Premier League legends in there. He played for Chelsea, he played for Liverpool, he played for West Ham in there, and he is now into this so-called journalism job in there. That's what he's doing, and he has really come out and really given us the sack prediction of a current manager of Arsenal who goes by the names of Mikel Arteta. Welcome to the Football News Top 10s and Lifestyle Zone. My name is Rokani David, aka RD, and if at all you are watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that you do upload in here on a daily, guys. It's a Saturday morning. How are you guys? I'm down here in Africa, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. This is where I'm doing this broadcast from in there, and I think it's really going to find you in a proper mood in there. Arsenal fans, this is your story, and all the well wishers, the haters, you can as well watch it and leave your comment into the comment section below. Now let's jet off. Who has really made this Arteta prediction? He's a man who goes by names of Joy Cole. For those that have been watching football for the last 20 years, this is not a novice name into the game of football. You know Joy Cole, an English international, played for West Ham, came in at Chelsea. He played very well. Remember that Chelsea lineup? Remember that Chelsea squad that had Arjen Robben, Damian Duff, Joy Cole in there. You remember that attack line of a team which goes by names of Chelsea in there? It caused lots of problems in the Premier League, and they really won Premier League trophies in there, and they really won FA Cups in there, though it never won the Champions League in there under Jose Mourinho, which led to his sacking. Then after Joy Cole left to a side which goes by names of Liverpool, he played at Liverpool for some years, and he then I think went into his retirement in there. That is a man who goes by names of Joy Cole, and he's the man who has really come out and given the prediction of sacking the manager of a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. Joy Cole has really some good points in there that has talked about in there that we feel like we have to talk about concerning the sacking of Mikel Arteta this coming weekend in there. After this, but next weekend in there, he has really based his argument onto the Norwich clash in there, or that Norwich game where Arsenal is going to play against Norwich in there. It's going to be its fourth Premier League game in there, and that's where he has really based his argument in. That is a man who goes by names of Joko in there. So let's get into what Joko said in there, but let me first read for you this. He said that the future at Arsenal obviously up in the air. I know they have played Chelsea, they have played Man City, the two best teams, but it's the manner of both defeats in there. All right, now Joik has really come out and said that he knows that Arteta has really come out and played Chelsea and Man City. To him, it looks like Man City and Chelsea are the two best teams in the Premier League in there. Yeah, somehow, somewhere, because when you look at Man City, but I think Man City is not that lethal without a number 9 or a centre forward. I think if at all they had gotten Harry Kane, they would have been one of those best sides, but I think they're really going to struggle in certain games because they're playing with a false 9 and they can really be put out a lot in there, and I think they're really going to struggle sometimes because they need to score goals. You need a proper number 9. Jack Grealish coming in is not it's a very good addition to the team which got Man City, but the most influential person they needed was a centre forward, someone that never got in there. But it does not really rule them out to be one of the best teams in the Premier League in there. But he has come out and said that he doesn't rule out that Arsenal has played two best teams in the Premier League, that is Chelsea and Man City in there, but the way Arsenal lost in there, look at the way they lost the team which goes up with Chelsea. Those 2 goals that they conceded in there. Conceding goals is not bad. You get, any team concedes goals, but what's your reaction? How many chances do you create? When you look at all these games, Arsenal has not been creating chances. They've not been creating chances. So that's the problem. That's the worrying bit of all these games. Even the game of Man City, hitting you 5 is not bad, but what is your response? How many shots on target did you have? Arsenal, I think, had 1 shot on target in there. Now, that's what Joy Cole was talking about, that how do you lose? The manner in which Arsenal is losing is the problem that is raising eyebrows to the sacking of a man who goes by the name of Mikel Arteta, because the way he's losing these games shows that the team is deteriorating game in, game out. Even the game of Brentford, he never looked like he wanted a goal. You get? It looked like Brentford was a team was a team that has been playing in the Premier League for very, very many years in there, and Arsenal looked like a side that was coming from the Championship. It was vice versa. Yet Brentford was the team coming from the Championship, and Arsenal was the team that was in the Premier League for a very long time. So when you look at what a man who goes by names of Joy Cole first said on that podcast in there that they ran on Apple in there, he said the manner in which Arsenal is losing is the worst thing in there. Losing 5-0 against Man City is not bad because you are losing to the defending champions. Everyone will understand. But has Arsenal scored goals? Has it created chances? You get? Look at how Arsenal is conceding its goals. Game of Man City, the first 2 goals that they conceded, because the other 3 that Arsenal conceded after Granit Xhaka was shown a red card, I don't really go into them because it was like the game is done. You get? But these first 2 goals that Arsenal conceded when they were 11 against 11, those are what we are looking at. The poor defending, you get? So Mikel Arteta needs to do lots of improvements if at all is to stay at Arsenal in there. And this prediction sack that Joko has made, if it's to put into action or activation, that means Mikel Arteta needs to do the needful at Arsenal if at all he doesn't want this sack to be activated. Remember, he was given 5 games. On the 5 games, he has won 1 against West Bromwich Albion 6-0. Lost to Man City by 5-0, 3 games to go in there for Arsenal. Let's wait and see whether Mikel Arteta will survive a sack at a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. Now, he really went ahead to say the following. They had all pre-season to prepare for the Brentford game, and they got... All right, a moment. Let me first get Arteta off. All right. He says... Joyko went ahead to say they had all preseason to prepare for the Brentford game, and they got it wrong on the day because they weren't at it mentally. That has happened too much with the Arsenal. That's not Arteta's fault. It's been something that's just been like damp getting into the woodwork at the club. In the 2 defeats against the big boys, it was likely they laid down and died. I think for Arteta's perspective, he never got to grips with Lukaku in the Chelsea game. It was very clear that you had to get a player in front of him defensively on a block and stop the balls going into him. That's what a man who goes by the names of Joy really continue to say about that Arsenal. Now, we talked about Brentford in there. When you look at Brentford, the game of Brentford, even the goals that Arsenal considered Brentford, you come out and know that there is something wrong in there. And however much Joyko does not pin the manager. To me, I pin the manager because when you look at how Arsenal played, you needed to know that it's Brentford. It's a team that uses energy. They are tenacious. They run all over the pitch. Now, what does a team that goes by names of Arsenal do? If at all you are playing teams like Brentford, don't allow them to play the ball. You get? Do the possessive game and don't let them possess the ball. Whenever they really get that ball, close the spaces, close them down, put pressure on them, and they will really go ahead to lose that ball. But Arsenal really, during that game of Brentford, they accepted to be the underdogs. They accepted to be the underdogs in that game. Meaning that it was painted all over, it was written all over the book that Arsenal was to lose. Because if at all a senior team like Arsenal with players they had, because you cannot compare the players that Arsenal had on the pitch with the players that Brentford had. You get? So it shows you that Arsenal really had to be the big lads into that game, but they really lost that big mentality and they really let Brentford to go in and play. You get? That is a work of the manager. You get? Telling players that close them down immediately they get that ball is a work of a manager who goes by the names of Mikel Arteta. The second goal that came in, that throw in. How do you let a throw in bounce into your 18 yards box? You get? Those are things that we should really come out and really tell the manager. However much Joyko is not pinning the manager for that loss, he's pinning the players. But It's the manager supposed to command the players, because you have a game plan for this game. Come in like the big lads, possess the game. Arsenal didn't possess the game at all. They didn't possess the game at all. You remember when I did the match reaction to that game, I brought you the statistics. Arsenal didn't. So it shows you that the problem is the manager. He has come out and really talked about Lukaku in there, that he really failed to get in a man in front of Lukaku in the year. Pablo Mari was put in to defend a man who goes by names of Lukaku. Really couldn't. The 2 goals Lukaku just slaughtered. Just put him like a kid. He gave him a punishment of his entire life, to an extent that I think if at all Gabriel Magalhaes returns and Ben White, I don't see Pablo Mari getting a chance to start into that Arsenal defense. I don't see. So Lukaku bulled him down, bulled him left, right, and center, to see to it that he really, because Lukaku scored the first goal in there and the second one, Lukaku was involved in there because there is the way he really shielded off Pablo Mari, and he really laid that ball to go and find a man who goes by names of Rice James in there. So to me, I think all those points are okay in there by a man who goes by names of Joyko in there. And lastly, he went ahead and said that against Man City, I just felt petulancy. I think petulancy from the players. The tackle from Granit Xhaka in a critical time of the game should happen from an experienced player. Shouldn't have happened from an experienced player. Yes, talk about that tackle of Granit Xhaka, and that is something that shouldn't happen from a player with an experience of Granit Xhaka in there, because Granit Xhaka is a very experienced player, a player that you don't expect him to do such a tackle, but he's a sluggish man. He sometimes loses it all, you get? So I think he really did bad to go in and tackle. Yeah, I agree with Joyko in there. And he continued and saying that I do like how Arteta has handled the situation. He's hardening as a manager. You can see that in him. So I think he's got that. He's obviously a well-schooled coach because of his work with Pep. He's a thoughtful guy. He's in the storm at the moment. He has to find a result against Norwich. And if he doesn't beat Norwich, I think it's probably the end of him. That's what Joyko really came out and made his prediction in there for a man who goes by names of Mikel Arteta, saying that if he doesn't get a result against the side which goes by Norwich, Arteta with Arsenal are going to part ways. Something that I really believe. However much he was given 5 games, if at all he doesn't get a win against Norwich, because Norwich has also not really got any point in there. When you look at the Premier League table, Norwich and Arsenal, I think, are the only teams that have not yet gotten any points. Let me look at the Premier League table in here. Premier League table. Let me see to it that I bring it onto your screen. All right. There are 3 teams into this. There are 3 teams that have not yet gotten a single point into this so-called league of 2021-2022. That is Wolverhampton Wanderers, Arsenal, and Norwich in there. So if at all Arsenal cannot really win against teams like these, that means Arsenal won't really get anything out of this, and the manager is going to be sacked. Because if at all cannot win against Norwich, then which team are you going to win against? You've lost against Brentford, a team that really came through with Norwich. Now, if at all you cannot win against a side which goes by the names of the side goes by the names of Norwich in there, that means Arteta is going to be 100% sacked in there. So that is the table that I was looking for, and I finally have it on your screen. So when you look at Arsenal, 0 points, -9. Norwich City has -9 also. They've both conceded 9 goals in there. So it looks like Arsenal and Norwich are into the same. But the problem is, I think Norwich has scored 1 goal and Arsenal has scored 0 goals, and they've conceded 1. Wolves plays very well, but they've not conceded any. They've not yet scored any goal in there. They create very many chances, but they don't really convert. They don't really convert them into goals in there. So Joyko, I support you 100% on what you've said, on your prediction on Mikel Arteta's sacking in there. Yes, the game of Norwich is the game to see to it that he turns things around in there, because he really needs to get some 3 points and really get and settle down in there. Because if at all he doesn't, I don't see him staying at a team which goes by names of Arsenal anymore. However much Edu really did an interview with Sky Sports and came out and really defended him on how they feel like they are really rebuilding in there. That's why they spent a lot of money into the transfer window. Remember, Arsenal is the team that spent a lot of money into the so-called transfer window, and they brought in signings. First signing, not Tavares, Lokonga, Ben White, Ramsdale, which other player? Odegaard and Tokehiro Tomiyasu in there. That Japanese player who came in from Bologna in there. Quite a good, talented player in there. Now Arsenal playing Norwich, Burnley, AFC Wembley Dawn, and Tottenham Hotspur. Those are the next 4 games of a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. And I think by 2nd October we'll be knowing whether Arteta is really an Arsenal manager or not, because Joico says the game that is really determining whether he's really going to stay as an Arsenal manager is the game happening next weekend, and that is on the 11th of September. That's what Joico is saying. To me, I really think Joico is right, because if Arsenal cannot beat Norwich, that means you are not in good position to be the Arsenal manager. I really back him a lot on this, and Joico really has something to say in there, and you've really gotten to know what he really thinks about Mikel Arteta sacking period in there at a team which goes by names of Arsenal. So this is now your chance to go into the comment section and tell us what you think about Mikel Arteta's sack prediction made by Joico, one of the Premier League legends in there. You can as well go into the comment section and leave your opinion in there. Smash the like button, comment and share, and if at all you are watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to our channel, and after subscribing, hit the notification bell. Why are you supposed to hit the notification bell? The reason is simple. If you don't hit the notification bell, you won't get notified each and every time I upload a video onto this channel. I'm Rokani David, aka RD. I'm out for now. See you later. That's all we had for you on the Mikel Arteta's sack prediction made by a Premier League legend who goes by names of Joico. And he said if at all he does not win against a side which goes by names of Norwich, Arteta is going to be given a sack by Arsenal. Do you agree with Joico? Yes or no? Your opinion is welcome into the comment section below. I sign out for now. See you later. More videos are coming. Bye.